Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have a story to tell you. This is a story about a house. When I was younger, I was given a house when I was a little girl. It had a beautiful staircase, nice windows. It was furnished. It had everything I needed in there to play with. But as I got older, I made the mistake of allowing the wrong type of solicitors to come to my house. I forgot to put my sign out there. I forgot to put out my sign that says no soliciting. I forgot to put up my fence that said keep off my grass. I didn't put up my signs and I didn't put up my boundaries. And every solicitor that walked down my pathway and up my staircase misused the use of my home. They came inside. They destroyed my furniture. They played in my house a lot. They ate there all the time. But they never took responsibilities for the things that they had done. Now I look around and I have children now. The fathers have all dispersed and gone in their different directions, and I look out the window and see them with someone else, and I realize that they were never contracted to help build my home. They were contracted to build somebody else's home. So as my house began to take a different form and the children began to grow, I realized that I was alone. And this story can be for men or women, because there's some fathers that have been left behind. And as I was living in the house, I was so caught up on the fact that the wrong solicitors had got in and sold me a bill of goods that did me no good. I bought everything that everybody was selling. And then I sat in a lonely room in the dark in the corner, and I clutched my legs together as I cried on my knees and realized that life is still going on outside around me. And the sad part about it is that I didn't have anybody to play with anymore. I alienated all my friends because of one solicitor that I just wanted to be with. And this particular solicitor, no matter how many times I said no or said yes, they came with the same conversation, the same look, the same mannerism, the same attitude. But in my mind and in my heart, this was the perfect contractor for my home. I just knew that he would build me a better bedroom, a better bathroom, a better kitchen, a laundry room, a deck in the back, beautiful furniture outside in the yard where we could relax and be as one. But that never happened. What happened was that over time I realized that I needed a new contractor. So I packed up his stuff. I told him goodbye and I gave him all his tools and he left. And then fear set in. I was like, oh my God, my house is falling apart. How do I get a new contractor and keep me together and keep the kids together? How do I do that? I didn't know how to do that. I just didn't know. So I look around and one child turns 18, another child turns 18, and before I know it, all of them are grown and gone on about their way. And you know, it's funny what happens to a house as it gets old. People will remember what it first looked like when it was first built. Oh, you'll see people stand there and say, "Oh my God, it was such a beautiful house. It was eye catching. It had wonderful curb appeal. The inside was beautiful. It always smelled good. The roof was just phenomenal. It never aged. But as the wear and tear comes to a house and mold sets in and the shades don't go up as far as they used to and the staircase starts to creak and make noise, people sit back and say, what happened to that house? It used to be a wonderful house. It used to be a house where you can go and relax and play and enjoy yourself and just have a really good time, and then you could go home feeling good about yourself. That's what people remember. But they don't remember what happens when you let solicitors in that damage the house. I talk about this story with an eye full of tears and a heart full of regrets. But I have to get this story out there because so many of us have started off with beautiful homes, beautiful staircases, wonderful curb appeal. We had a great roof. The furnace was working good. Air conditioning was fine. Everything that we needed in that house to build a home, we had it. But the minute we let the wrong solicitor in, they built our house with wood and brick that was no good. Because when they left us with a molded house, a damaged house. And now we're left to pick up the pieces of what they did. Some women pull it together. They clean their house up. They get what they need for it. And they move on and do great in life. Some women fall apart. And you look around years later and there's a big old sign saying, this house is set up for demolition. And this house is no longer any good. And the very people that helped destroy that house are the very people that stand there and watch it fall. And they say, man, too bad the right person didn't get a hold of that house. They would have took such better care of it. Why did she allow so many people to come in and do her contracting for her when all she had to do was get somebody with some experience, some knowledge, and somebody that cared from the heart? Because when you get your house, if you don't have the right people that are training you and teaching you, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you accept any builder that comes along. Now, the contractor that was for my house, because I could only talk about my house, was somebody I cared about for a very long time. And a lot of you out there know what I mean. And then one day I just couldn't do it no more. I had to tear my own house down and rebuild it. And as you rebuild, understand that the contractors that are bogus and that are poisonous and that bring the wrong kind of materials are still going to come. But you still got to rebuild. And you say, how do you do that? Because you don't rebuild for your kids. You don't rebuild for a man. You don't rebuild to please your mom and dad or your siblings. You rebuild for you. Because if you don't, you're left in a house with mold and mildew and dirt and debris. Then you start building stuff up in there, and then you become an emotional hoarder. And you know what happens to emotional hoarders? Nothing. Nobody deals with an emotional hoarder. People don't want your baggage. And why do you get mad at them? Because they don't even want their own baggage. We constantly find ourselves loving and getting close to people that can't deal with their baggage. These houses that we've built as women and as men, and the contractors that we've let in to rebuild our staircases and to change the rooms of our house, have only left behind damaged goods and mold and mildew that it takes us a lifetime to get rid of. Understand that as you walk through relationships, as you allow people to climb your staircase, sit in your living room and in your dining room and eat from your kitchen, and even use your bathroom, remember that these people don't always have your best interests at heart. That's why you have to rebuild for you. And when you rebuild, put a fence around your house. Don't allow people to just walk in your house any kind of way they want. Put a sign up there, stay off the grass. Not keep off the grass, stay off the grass. Put a sign by your door that says no solicitors allowed. And on the other side, put no panhandling. Because you don't want people to come there and drop off their garbage. You don't want people to come there only for money. Whether you got it like that or you don't got it like that. Whether you're a woman that works every day or a man that works every day or a hustler. It don't matter what you are. That fence around your house is your boundaries. That door that says no solicitors, no panhandling, that's your mouth. Use it. Because people that love you will respect your boundaries And they will not ask you to break your rules for them. We've all, as women and as men, and I basically can speak for women, but I know men have gone through this too. I just don't know any. We've all been in situations where we've changed and went from house to house thinking it was going to be better. It's not the building that's the problem. It's the things that you allow to walk up the staircase that's the problem. The people that you allow to walk down the path that leads to your front door. When you don't let your yes be yes and your no be no, people will hoard your house up with their emotions, their feelings, their issues, and their problems. And then you spend the rest of your life sorting through all that trash, but you don't throw anything away because the fear of starting over is so great in some of us that we would just rather be a hoarder of emotions than to start over. I'm almost 60 years old and I'm telling you, start over. It's not worth it. I'm starting over at this age. I finally learned that I don't have to deal with people's emotions and their feelings if I don't want to. And it doesn't mean that I'm mad at anybody. It's just that the baggage that you got in your suitcase, my closet ain't big enough to hold it. Because your suitcase has too many compartments in it. I got an old-fashioned suitcase. It still got the buckles on there. It don't even have a zipper. If I don't sit on the top of it and snap it down, it ain't going to stay closed. Why? Because I put stuff in my suitcase that didn't belong in there. I was taking trips and doing things in my own home. And I allowed the wrong person to walk up my staircase and take my suitcase and put their stuff in it. And my life became about them. And I lost me in the process. And my ambitions, my dreams, my goals, and everything was standing in the corner saying, excuse me, but you plan on ever letting us live? And I'm looking at them like, who y'all talking to? But let me tell you the real kicker. When the house got old and the roof started falling apart and the staircase started getting creaky and it didn't climb as good as it used to. And the food didn't smell the same coming out the kitchen, and the furnace was getting a little cold, and the hot water tank didn't work like it used to. And I was set up for demolition. Everybody that once lived in that house stood there and watched it being demolished. And as I end this, let me tell you something. Let me leave you with this. Everybody that came to that house lived in that house. Everybody but me.
We are now transferring you to a customer care rep. Please hold the line and we will answer your call as soon as possible. Thank you for choosing. By the way, to ensure you're getting great service, your call may be recorded or monitored.